Hello. Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Nice to meet you all.
Hello.
Good morning. Thank you for joining. Okay, one second. I'm just going to put you all on mute. One moment. Okay. Hello. Welcome. My name is Hayley. For those of you who are new, nice to meet you. Just before we start, I want to go through some rules for this lesson, in case you don't already know. So, rule number 1, if you can keep your microphone on mute during the lesson. There are 11 people on this call, so it might get a bit confusing with a lot of people speaking. So if you can keep your microphone on mute for me, that would be great. If you have a question, you can type or write in the chat box. The chat box is on the top right corner of your screen. If you click there, and you can write if you have a question. Also, if you have a problem, you can also write in the chat box and say help, I don't know what I'm doing, or you can put a little exclamation mark, and then I can ask you if you have a problem. Okay, so for those of you who don't know me, some of you I recognise from other lessons, but for those of you who are new, my name's Hayley. I'm from the UK, and I'm going to be your teacher today. Before we start, I'd like to know where all of you are from. So in the chat box, I will put a link to a Google form that looks like this. And you can scroll down, find your country, and click your country. And that will tell me where you are from. Okay. So one moment, I'm just going to put this link in the chat box for you. So if you go to the top right of your screen, click on chat, you should see a form, and then you can click that form and it will open into this form here. And you can find your country for me. Okay, great. I've already got 2 responses, lovely. Thank you. Wonderful. Okay, 6 responses. I'm still waiting for 4 people to complete that form. 7. Okay, a few of you haven't done it yet, but no problem. So let's take a look. We have 2 people from Italy here today. Italians, give me a wave. Where are you? Hi, Giada. And I can't see who else. Hernando, hello. Okay, we've got 2 people from Colombia. If you're from Colombia, give me a wave. Say hello. Hi, Hernando. Nice to meet you. Lovely. And we've got 1 person from India. Who's from India here? Hello. Hi. 1 person from Ghana. 1 from Thailand. Wow. 1 from Spain. Anyone from Spain here? Jose. Hi, of course. 1 person from Poland. Joanna, I know that's you. Hello. And 1 person from the Philippines. Fantastic, lovely. Very international group today. I like it. Wow, nice to meet you all. Thank you for coming. Right, so in this lesson, we're going to use an app called Nearpod. Don't worry, you don't need this app, it's fine. In the chat box, I'm going to put a link. One moment while I get the link here. And you can click that link and it will open to a presentation. So 1 second. There we go. So if you go to the chat box, you can click that link there and it will open and you will see this. It will look like a presentation. Okay. Yes, Hernando, I see Joanna twice as well, I think because she logged out and logged back in. It's fine. Joanna, are you a twin? Do you have an identical twin? No.
No, I don't think I did something, but I don't know what.
Okay, it's no problem. Right. So if you can go to the chat box, click that link and it will open here. At the moment, I only see, I've got 4 of you on the presentation at the moment. That means I'm missing 8 of you. Okay, I've got 6 people. Okay, again, for those of you who've just joined, please go to the chat box and click the link in the chat box, please. And it will open to a presentation like this. You can write your name, and then you will see the presentation. Okay. I have 9 of you so far. Who are we missing? Leah, I've got you. June. Closer. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, we're missing 1 person. Who am I missing? Okay, might be Leah. Okay, no problem. So, let's start. Now, this class is for the IELTS exam. Okay, if you are not preparing for IELTS, this class might not be so useful for you. So IELTS is a very difficult English exam, and it works with band levels. And you have band levels from 1 to 9. 9 is the highest, 1 is the lowest. This class is for IELTS band levels 6 to 7. And 6 to 7 is about level B2, C1, which is upper intermediate to advanced level English. Okay. So if you do not have upper intermediate or advanced level English, this class might be a bit difficult for you. So just be aware. And your IELTS is divided into 4 parts. So you have reading, writing, speaking, and listening. So today we're going to focus on reading and speaking. So your reading is 60 minutes and you have about 40 questions to answer. And your speaking is about 11 to 14 minutes and you have 3 different parts to your speaking. Part 1 is just some general questions about you, your family, your hobbies, your work. Part 2 is a long turn. You will have a task card and you have to speak for 1 to 2 minutes continuously alone. We will focus on part 2 today. And part 3 is a discussion with the examiner. So the examiner will ask you a question and you just need to discuss, basically have a conversation with the examiner. Okay. So let's start our vocabulary first of all. So today we're going to focus on vocabulary for people and relationships. And then we're going to do a reading about relationships, and then we're going to do some speaking about relationships. So I want to know, what do you think of when you see the word relationship? What comes into your mind when you see that word, relationship? Now on the next slide, you will be able to write some words, not on Google Meet, in the presentation. You should have a box at the bottom and you can write, for example, if I write here, happy comes into my mind when I see the word relationship. For you, what do you think of when you see the word? Okay, Mohammed says trust, love. Beautiful. June, connection. Nice. Nikki, bond, connection. Joanna, my parents' marriage. Lovely. Anyone else? What do you think of when you see the word relationship? You can write a little something in the box there. And you can write more than one word if you like. You can write as much as you want. Joanna, respect. Jada, friend. Okay. Okay, Leo, you haven't written anything yet. 1 moment. Hernando. Hernando, you can write in the presentation. If you can see the presentation, you can type it there. It's no problem. And then everyone can see what you write. Okay. Karen, support. Hernando, take care of each other. Nice. Lovely. Right, nice. So that's what you all think of when you think of relationships. Very positive. I like it. No one put anything negative here. It's good. So we're going to do a bit of vocabulary now for different types of relationships. So this is band 6 to 7 level vocabulary that you need to know for this topic. So we have number 1, a client. 1 moment, let me just check if I have you all on this presentation. No. Okay. Noradine, if you click this link, if you click that link, it will open and you will see this presentation on your screen, okay? So, vocabulary, number 1, client. A client is a customer or someone that you help in your job. Okay, that is a client. You can also use customer in the same way. They're interchangeable. So let me just write this for you here. Don't worry if your screen has gone blank, I'm about to write on it. So for client, you can also say customer. It's also a good idea when you learn new vocabulary, try to learn a synonym or a similar word. Because for IELTS at band 7, you need to know a lot of different vocabulary, a very big range of vocabulary. So when you learn a new word, try to learn a synonym as well, if you can. So we've got client or customer, someone you help at work. A colleague is someone who works with you. So any kind of workmate or a friend that you have in work is your colleague. You cannot use the word colleague for school. It's only for work. Okay. Some people try to use it for school, but in English it doesn't have that meaning. So your colleague is only a work friend, let's say, or a workmate. For school, we would use classmate, but not colleague. Okay. So number 1, clients. Number 2, colleague. Number 3 is your employer. Your employer is your boss. So anyone who employs you is your employer or your boss. Okay. Again, let me write this down. So you can say employer or boss. And a person who is employed is an employee. Okay. So your employer is the boss. You are the employee if you work for the company. Okay. So we have client, colleague, employer. And then 3 more for you. Parents. I think most of you probably know this word. Siblings. A sibling is a brother or a sister. So the group name for brother and sister is sibling. In many languages, often you would use the word brother. You would say, my brothers. But in English, brother is only for a boy. It's not for a girl. So if you want to talk about everyone in your family, if it includes a brother and a sister, you need to say sibling. Okay. So sibling is a brother or a sister. In both American and British English, yeah, Hernando, it's all English. You can only say the word sibling for brother and sister. So brother is only for a boy or a man. And sister is only for a girl or a woman. Okay. Give me a hands up. Who has siblings here? Hernando. Okay, Mohammed. Oh, you all have siblings. Lovely. Okay, so we've got parents, siblings, and your spouse is the person, me. I have one brother, an older brother. Your spouse is the person you are married to. So again, if you don't want to say my wife or my husband, you can just say my spouse. And that means your wife or your husband. Okay. So again, let me just open this here. So your spouse. Okay. Right, so that's all of the vocabulary that's all of our nouns. Now I have some adjectives for you. But we're going to do this a bit of a different way. You're going to try and match these adjectives for describing people or describing relationships to the correct definition. Okay. So, you're going to have 5 minutes, which is quite a bit of time, I think. And you should be able to see, oh, I don't want to give you the answers. You should be able to see on your screen a bunch of words, and you can click them and match them together. Okay. For the person who's just joined us, Islam John, can you click the link in the chat box and it will open and you can see a presentation. Okay.
Can you see me?
I can see you. Yes, it's fine. I can see you. I can hear you. Can you also keep your microphone on mute for me, please?
Yes, of course.
Thank you. I'll mute you as well. It's no problem. Okay. So go to the chat box. Click the link in the chat box and it will open and you will see a presentation. Okay. It should look like this. Okay. Right, so let's see. Okay. Wow, Hernando, you did that quick. You already have 9 out of 9. Well done. Hernando's the winner for today. The rest of you have 3 minutes left to complete this task, and then we'll take a look at the answers in a second. Okay. Okay, so this is a bit difficult for people. They're still trying to get the correct answers. Okay, Joanna, you come second. Who's going to come third? Let's have a look. Islam John, are you okay? Can you see the presentation? Give me a thumbs up if you're okay.
Yes, I
Yeah.
see.
Okay, lovely, thank you. Ah, yes, I can see you on the, okay. Right, so we've got 2 minutes left. A few of you are still matching. Okay, June, you've come third. Or Jada, possibly. I didn't see who got there first, actually. Jada and June are joint third. Okay, we've got 1.5 minutes for those of you not finished. Okay. Ah, Jose, you just finished. Well done. Some difficult vocabulary today for some people. For those of you finding this very difficult, this might mean that your level is not B2 or C1 level. You may have a lower level English, so this class might be too difficult for you. Okay, 25 seconds left and then we'll look at the answers. Okay, 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, right, so we're finished. Right, so let's take a look at these answers then. Let me just add a little something here. Right, so you should see the answers on your screen here. So we've got autonomous. If you're an autonomous person, you can make your own decisions. You're not influenced by other people. Okay? You're autonomous. If you're consistent, you behave in the same way. So you always do the same thing. You always think the same thing. You're very consistent. If you're conventional, your opinions, your behavior is ordinary or normal, let's say. If you're cooperative, you do something that someone asks you to do without complaining about it. If you're efficient, you do something very successfully, and you don't waste time. So you do it quite quick, and it's quite successful. If you're flexible, you can change, you adapt to different situations. So we can use this physically. If you're very flexible, you can move in different positions, but you can also have flexible behavior. So you can change to different situations. You're idealistic if your behavior or your opinions are based on ideals or things that aren't super real. Jade, you can click the link again and it will open into the presentation. Okay. You're tolerant if maybe you don't agree with someone or someone's behavior, but you still allow that person to behave in that way. you're tolerant. And you're vulnerable if it's easy to hurt you, if you're easily hurt either emotionally or physically. You're tolerant. Yes, Jada, 1 second, I'll send you the link here. There you go. Okay, so if any of you, if your connection is bad and you lose connection, join again, and then you should be able to see the link to the presentation, and you can just join the presentation again. Okay. Right, so there's all our vocab. Now, let's move on and do a bit of reading for the IELTS exam. So we're going to look at reading part 5, which is called Matching Headings. Don't worry if you can't read the text, it's very small, but I'm going to make it bigger in a second, so don't try and read the text there. But matching headings, basically, you will get 5 sections of text, and you will get 9 different headings, and you need to match the heading to the correct section of the text. So this part of the exam, your main focus is to recognize the main ideas of a text. So you don't need to read in detail. You don't need to understand every single word. That's not the point. You need to understand the general idea of the text. Okay. And you need to be able to distinguish or differentiate the main idea from supporting ideas in your text. So let's take a look at a strategy for this reading then. Now what I would do if I were you in the exam, I would read each heading first. We'll look at the headings in a second, but first I would read each heading, and I would highlight or circle any keywords in those headings, because that will tell you what you're looking for, what's the main focus of the section or the paragraph. So read each heading, highlight or circle any keywords, and then look to see if you can find any similarities or any differences between the headings, because you might have some headings that are very similar, and it can be quite difficult. You might get one section where you think there are 2 headings that are possible here, but there might be a tiny little difference between those 2 headings. So circle any keywords and then look for any similarities or differences in those headings. Okay? And then read the first and the last sentence in each paragraph. Now, 9 times out of 10, the important information you're looking for will be in the first and last sentence of each paragraph, and that will tell you which heading matches that paragraph. So instead of reading everything in detail and trying to understand it, just read the first and last sentence, and that should help you. Okay. And then of course choose the most suitable heading, whichever you think is possible. Okay, so these are your headings. First of all, I'll show you the text in a second, but these are your 9 headings that you have. Okay, so we've got new families, beneficial or harmful, the government reaction, number 3, the typical Western family, number 4, political families, number 5, the disappearance of the traditional model, number 6, families, then and now, number 7, the first criticisms of family, number 8, the happy family model, and number 9, the function of families. So like we said before, read all your headings, notice any keywords, and then notice any similarities or differences between these headings. So I'm just going to wait. I'll wait for about 30 seconds and give you guys a chance to look and just think about any keywords or any similarities or differences in these headings. You don't have to write anything for now, but just take a look and have a think. Okay, so now you've had a look. Now you're going to write any keywords, similarities, differences. So you've got all of your headings there, and then if you could write for me any keywords, any similarities, any differences, what would you highlight in the exam if you were in the exam right now? June, you've answered family. June, you can type more, you can write more words, or you can choose a keyword for every heading and then submit your answer. Javier, you've also submitted family. Okay, just to give you guys some context, the text that we will look at is about family. So you will have the word family in every heading. So that will not be a keyword because it's in every heading. Okay, Hernando, nice. Hernando. Similarities, family. Differences, beneficial, harm for government, Western, political. Traditional model, dominant, criticisms. Okay, perfect. Okay, you've got about a minute and a half left. Joanna, beneficial or harmful reaction. Western political disappearance, then now. Criticism of happy function, yeah, great. Giada. Yeah, new families, governments, Western, perfect. Okay. So we've got about 30 seconds left if you've not done that. Gilbert's beneficial family, political disappearance, reaction, Western, good. Okay, Mohammed. New family, government, Western, political, traditional, then and now. Yeah. Okay, right. So I think most of you have given the same answers, which is great. So your keywords, we've got new, government, Western, political, traditional. So these are the words you need to focus on when you're looking at the sections, and then you can kind of zoom in on those words. And if you can see any words that are similar, then you know the heading matches the correct section. Okay, perfect, right. So we've got our keywords. Now we need to read the first and last sentence of each paragraph. So we're not going to do all paragraphs, we're just going to do 1 or 2. In the exam you will have 6, but we'll just look at 1 or 2. So section A, again we're just going to look at the first and last sentence. Don't worry if you don't understand everything, you just need to understand the general idea of the paragraph. So we've got, the family has often been regarded as the cornerstone of society. Last sentence, which carries out vital tasks such as socialising children. Okay. Now, we're going to try and match this to one of the 9 headings that we just looked at. Okay. So again, you will have the paragraph at the top there. You can read it again if you want, and then you have your 9 headings. You need to choose the correct heading for me. Focus on the first and the last sentence in your paragraph, and focus on your keywords in your headings. So you've got about a minute to give me an answer. Okay, good. Quite a few of you are getting them correct. Good. Okay, just take that up on the screen. So, Joanna and Jade, you're both correct. Well done. Okay, you've got about 10 seconds if you haven't answered yet. Okay, time's up. So, the correct answer was the final answer, I, which was the function of families. So the function of families matches this heading. Again, if we take a look at the first and last section, oh sorry, that's section B. Let me just flick back so we can look. Okay, there we go. So we have, the family has often been regarded as the cornerstone of society, which carries out vital tasks such as socialising children. The correct answer was the function of families. Okay, so what does family do? It socialises children, in your last line. It carries out vital tasks. Okay, it's the cornerstone of society, that's its function. Okay. Right, we'll try one more, and then we're going to hopefully quickly do some speaking. Okay, so we've got another paragraph for you here. For the person who's just joined us, please click this link and it will open into a presentation for you. Okay, so again, your first and last sentence of this paragraph. Until the 1960s, few sociologists questioned the importance of the benefits of family life. And your final sentence, well adapted to the demands of societies. I'll give you about 10 seconds to read the rest of the paragraph if you want, but it's not really that necessary, but you can if you like. And then we'll try and answer. Right, let's try and find a matching heading for this paragraph then. So again, focus on the first and the last sentence, focus on your keywords, try to match those keywords to the first and last sentences. Okay. Okay, Jada, again you were correct, well done. Okay, I'll give you about 20 more seconds if you haven't answered yet. Right, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so this one looked like a very difficult one. Only one person got this correct. And the rest of you, I think most of you put a different answer. So, the answer to this one was the last one, again, H. So this is the happy family model. That was the heading for this one, the happy family model. So if we look, for example, in the first sentence, you have the word, let me just flick back to our heading here. The first sentence, you have the word benefit, benefits of family life. That could possibly be a synonym for happy or something good, something positive. And in the bottom again, we have well adapted to demands of society. So if you're well adapted to demands, you will probably be happy, or at least you won't have a difficult life if you're well adapted to the demands of society. Okay. So you were looking for the word benefit in there that could tell you that it was the happy family. Okay. So the reading was a bit difficult for us. But don't worry, we're going to head on to a bit of speaking now. So we're going to head on to speaking part 2, which is your long turn. Okay, never mind. So your long turn, what will happen in this part of the exam, you will get a card, a task card, and it will have writing like this. It will say describe a close friend or describe something, and then you should say, and it will generally give you 4 different things that you have to talk about. And then you will have 1 minute to make notes to help you to speak. And then you can speak for 1.5 minutes to 2 minutes continuously. And then the examiner will stop you. Okay. My voice is breaking. Okay. Can you give me a thumbs up? Can you hear me? Yeah. Okay. Mohammed, it may be your connection if you can't hear me. 1 second. Right. So this is something that you'll get in the exam, and it will look like this. It could be on any topic, but generally it will ask you something about the past. It will ask you to describe, and it will ask you for an opinion. So we're going to describe a close friend. as we're talking about relationships today. So we've got how long have you met this person, how you met, what kind of person he or she is, and explain why you like him or her. So again, I've got a little strategy for you that would help you to continue speaking for 2 minutes. Some people find this quite difficult in the exam because they run out of things to talk about. So what I would do if I were you, I would have a very short introduction. Like today I'm going to speak about my friend Jane because blah 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 blah. Then I would use this structure: introduction, past, description, opinion, future. And you can apply this to any card, any cue card that you get in the IELTS exam, because all of the cue cards are in the same structure. They will always ask you about the past, they will always ask you for a description, and they will always ask you for an opinion. So if you keep this in mind, introduction, past, description, opinion, future, that will force you, one, to use a lot of different grammar, and two, it will force you to continue speaking because you need to talk about all of these things. So, a bit more about this strategy. Your introduction. Today I'm going to talk about because. Then move on to your past. So for this example, you could say, I've known my friend for 10 years and we met at school. Now I just used 2 past tenses there. I use present perfect and I use past simple. This is what you need to do in the exam. You need to show the examiner you have a very wide range of grammar and that you can use it very well. So I've known my friend for 10 years. We met at university. Then describe your friend. My friend is. Try to use some of the vocabulary we just looked at. My friend is cooperative. My friend is very. I can't remember our vocabulary now. Let me put our
Tolerant.
vocabulary up here. Joanna?
Tolerant.
Tolerance. Thank you. Anyone else? Can you give me some vocabulary that I've forgotten?
Cooperative.
Cooperative. Lovely. Thank you.
Caring.
Pardon?
Caring.
Caring. Yeah. Anyone else?
Helpful.
Vulnerable.
Helpful, vulnerable. Oh, you've got better memories than I have. Fantastic.
A friend in need is a friend indeed.
Fantastic, thank you. So you can try to use the vocabulary that we've looked at for before. Then give your opinion. Why do you like him or her? What's so good about them? And then you can end. Normally it doesn't ask you about the future, but it's a good idea to end with something about the future, like a prediction or maybe even a conditional, because again it forces you to use complex grammar, or at least a wide range of grammar. So you could say, I think we will. If I didn't have him in my life, I would be really upset or something. So it forces you to use different grammar. 1 second, let me read you off. Okay. So, as I said, you get 1 minute to make some notes to help you while you're speaking. So now you can write some notes, think of a friend, and you can quickly write some notes about who you're going to speak about. Okay? So you've got 1 minute. Go, go, go. Mohammed, can you still see the presentation?
Yes, I can.
Okay, right. Okay, time's up. Oh, only one of you managed to do that. Okay. So, in the exam, you will have 1 minute, and then they will ask you to stop writing. But then your notes will be in front of you during the exam, so that you can kind of quickly look down. If you get stuck and you can't remember what you want to say, you can just look down at your notes and kind of quickly get your thoughts back. I know most of you did it actually. I can see most of you have answered. Good. Okay, so now we're going to try and quickly do a bit of speaking. Now, we're going to use a different app for this. If you are on a laptop or a computer, you don't need to do anything, you're fine. If you're on a tablet or a phone, you need to download this app. I sent you an email yesterday with this information on. I hope you all received it and looked at it. If you didn't, you might not be able to complete this part of the lesson. So the app is called Flipgrid. If you are on a tablet or a phone, can you now please download this app? But if you are on a computer, it's fine. You don't have to do anything. Okay? I'm going to give you about 1 minute for those of you on a tablet or a phone to download this app, Flipgrid, and then we'll move on. For any of you on a phone or a tablet, can you type in the chat box for me if you are using a phone or a tablet for this lesson? Okay, that's fine. Right, Jada, you'll have to download this app if you don't already have it, okay? Okay, right, so we're going to move on. So, this is what the screen will look like in a second when we're doing the speaking activity. You'll have the speaking activity there with the questions, and you will have two buttons that say record a response. Now you need to click that button. It will open into a camera screen, and then you can click record and you will record yourself speaking to a camera for 1 minute and 30 seconds. And then you click submit, and then I will be able to see all of your responses, and I can listen to your responses and I can give you some feedback. Okay. So you've got two, you don't have to click both of the buttons. You can either click the big camera button or you can click the little record your response button. Okay. So in a second, hopefully it should load, and you should be able to see a screen here, and it should say record a response, and you can click that button. I'll just show you for those of you that can't see. You need to allow access to your microphone as well. If you don't want to do a full recording of your face, you don't have to. You can just do it with your microphone. But other than that, it's fine. Okay. And then you should be able... Oh, I can't for some reason, I think. Because it's using my camera. Are we all okay, or are we having problems?
So we have to record a response, yes? No?
Yeah. If you could record a response to that question for me. Let me know if any of you are having difficulties.
And we have to do now, describe our friend.
Yeah, if you can.
And when we described our friend what we should do next.
You should be able to click submit, and then it will submit it to me here. And then I should see it pop up on the screen. Okay, when you've finished, you can just type done in the chat box for me so that I know. Right, so I'm going to have to stop you all there. If you've not done it, don't worry. But I should be able to see it here in a second, and I'll be able to look at that later and give you all some feedback in the next lesson. If this lesson was too difficult for you, it means that you are not the correct level for this lesson. Okay. So if it was really difficult, I would ask you please don't book for next week, because it's not going to be very useful for you if you can't follow the lesson. Okay. For those of you who found it okay and you enjoyed it, if you'd like to join next lesson, I'm just going to put the link in the chat box here. And also, if you could just quickly fill in another little Google form to say if you enjoyed the lesson or not. I'm just going to put the form in the chat box here. So you can click that and there will just be a question: did you enjoy the lesson? Yes or no? And it asks you for any comments. If I could just ask you all to quickly type a little yes or no so I know if you liked it. If you didn't, don't worry, you can still put no, that's not a problem. For those of you that are on Facebook, if you're following the page, I Speak English on Facebook, I'll just leave the link here for you. If you'd like to write a review as well, if you enjoyed the lesson and you'd like to write us a little review, that would be really nice of you. Also, if you're on Instagram, you can follow us on Instagram. We put daily updates on Instagram, kind of daily English tips and things, so you can learn English every day. And again, for those of you who found this difficult and you're not sure about your English level, you can do a free level test. The link is here. It takes about 20 minutes. You just have to answer some grammar questions, and then it will give you your English level. And then you can choose the correct lesson for you, because we do have a lot of lessons running. So we have A2, B1, B2. We also have IELTS, and we have a Cambridge B2 exam lessons running. So if you're not sure about your level, you can test your level for free, and then you can join the correct class for you. Okay. Right, I think that's all I wanted to tell you. Do you have any questions before we go? Does anyone have any questions? Let me know. I can see Joanna typing, so I'll wait a second. Okay, great. See you next lesson. Lovely. Okay. Right, so if we've not got any questions, hopefully I'll see most of you next week in the other IELTS class. How are we going to level up our English? Okay, so we're going to level up by doing these classes. I'll be giving you some homework in another 3 classes. I'll start by giving you a bit of homework, and I'll be opening a Google Classroom. Hernando, yes, they're free. Until mid-March, these lessons will be free. So you're welcome to join until then. Any other questions? Thank you very much. You're welcome. Okay, right. So we'll have to finish there, and then hopefully I'll see you all next week in the lesson. Thank you very much for coming. You can unmute your microphone and say goodbye if you like.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye. See you next
Bye.
week.
Thank you very
everyone.
much.
Bye.
Really funny.
you.
Thank you very much.
No problem.
Bye-bye.
See you. Bye, Hernando. Bye. Okay, see you all next week.
And today I'm talking about Marcela. Marcela, actually, he is my sister of another mother. I've been known for 5 years. She's my colleague. She studied biomedical engineering as me, and she's a great person. She every day is happy, and she contains her energy and try to help another people. We was in the 3rd year of university, and and we had
And then I
similar
should see it pop up.
and we had a similar class. And I asked about if I can study with her.
I'm going to describe my friends. His name is Trello, which I know him since childhood, and we studied together at school. And he's very successful and powerful and tolerant and successful man. In my opinion, he was a very successful man because of he has all of
Now I'm going to talk about my friend Ruben. We have a good relationship. I've known him for around 10 years because we go to the same church. He's like 60 years old, he's married, he's a serious, cooperative, tolerant person. He works as a naturist doctor. I like him because he's a noble person and he likes to help people. And although sometimes he's a strong person, he has a nice heart. I think we will keep being for friends. I think we will keep being friends for a long time, no matter the distance, because I wonder too much about him, and I think he does too. I think it is good to have a friend like him, because I think I consider and I feel that I can always ask him about any advice or any help I need at any moment in my life.
Uh, a friend of mine, I would like to say, I would like to describe is my friend Boniface. I met him 10 years ago. He is a talk active person, hardworking person. I like speak with him every time we have a chance to see. Um, I think that we will be continue our friends because I'm going to travel with him to Russia next year. It's pleasure for me to have this kind of person on my side because he always give me support and tries to explain a lot of difficult things. Uh, I hope that our friends will be continue for the rest of my life.
Today, I'm going to share to you that my friend named Wiley. She was my high school friend, and I love her because she is very supportive and cooperative, and especially during my ups and downs during high school day. Uh, in our friendship, come into a good foundation, and I think it is unbreakable. So it will be forever, even though now we seldom talk.
Today I'm going to talk
Are
about
we all
my
okay, or
friend.
are we having problems?
Today I'm going to talk about my friend
Yeah, yeah. If you can record
because he is
response to
very
that
nice
question
friend.
for me.
I have known my friend for almost 13
Let
years.
me know if any of you are having
My friend
difficulties.
is very nice, helpful, and caring. I like him because he was with me in every phase of my life, and I think we will be friends forever.